Born into one of Hollywood's most illustrious families, Knox Jolie-Pitt became the center of global media attention from the very moment he entered the world. Knox Leon Jolie-Pitt let out his first cry on July 12, 2008, in the seaside city of Nice, France, alongside his twin sister Vivienne. The birth of the Jolie-Pitt twins was likened at the time to a royal event in the entertainment industry. From the outset, Knox was associated with the image of a young heir born into both the splendor of fame and the spirit of compassion. His peaceful life in the loving embrace of both parents changed abruptly in 2016, the year the media dubbed the beginning of Hollywood's historic divorce. Just 2 years after their secret yet romantic wedding in France, the golden couple Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt shocked the world in September 2016 by announcing their separation, ending more than a decade together that had once appeared blissfully happy. The rumored cause of the split was a serious altercation during a family private flight. A dispute that the press later revealed involved Brad Pitt losing his temper with eldest son Maddox, who was 15 at the time. Although the exact details were never made public, that incident prompted Angelina to file for divorce immediately, citing, quote, irreconcilable differences, while also requesting custody of all 6 children out of concern for their safety and environment. For Knox, who had just turned 8, his parents' separation must have felt like a seismic emotional shock. Overnight, his once lively and bustling family was split in two. Brad Pitt left the family home to live separately, while Angelina Jolie temporarily assumed primary custody of the children. From seeing his father daily, Knox suddenly found himself limited to supervised visits, under the initial temporary agreement. At the time, media outlets were flooded with reports about investigations by Child Protective Services and the FBI into Brad's conduct on that fateful flight, further intensifying the family's already strained atmosphere. One can imagine Knox caught bewildered in the whirlwind of turmoil. On one side, the movie star father he adored, now thrust into the spotlight of troubling allegations. On the other, the glamorous mother straining to shield her children from relentless public scrutiny. The years that followed unfolded as a relentless saga of legal disputes and mounting family discord. From 2016 to 2024, the divorce battle between Angelina and Brad dragged on for 8 long years, becoming one of the most protracted and costly separations in Hollywood history. Behind courtroom doors, the two superstars clashed continuously over custody arrangements and division of assets. Despite their wealth and fame, they could not escape the bitterness, pain, and stubbornness that marked their struggle. Industry insiders estimated that the pair spent millions of dollars in legal fees over the course of the drawn-out proceedings. Yet, beyond the financial toll, the most heartbreaking loss lay in the ever-deepening fractures within the Jolie-Pitt parent-child relationships. Throughout the years, their parents were embroiled in courtroom battles. The 6 Jolie-Pitt siblings inevitably suffered the consequences, each gradually revealing their own stance. Among the older children nearing adulthood, long-simmering tensions with Brad Pitt became increasingly visible. Maddox, the eldest son, was the first to publicly side with his mother. Upon turning 18, he reportedly stopped using the surname Pitt on all unofficial documents and deliberately minimized any mention of his father. Pax Thien, the adopted son from Vietnam, followed his brother's lead. Though he remains quiet on social media, Pax was rumored to have written an angry letter to Brad, expressing deep disappointment and hurt over his father's actions. Zahara, the third child, while more gentle in demeanor, was also spotted using the name Zahara Jolie in certain community activities, signaling a quiet rejection of her father's surname. Even Shiloh, the biological daughter closest in age to Knox and once very close to Brad, chose to distance herself. On her 18th birthday in 2024, Shiloh is reported to have filed for a legal name change to remove Pitt entirely. If confirmed, that would be a powerful symbolic gesture of her determination to sever ties with her father's influence. The most striking case, however, is that of Vivienne, Knox's twin sister. In April 2024, Vivienne assisted in the production of the Broadway play The Outsiders. Observant theatergoers noticed in the official playbill that she was credited simply as Vivienne Jolie with no Pitt attached. The discovery quickly caught the media's attention. Though a small act, it carried immense symbolic weight. It revealed that Vivienne, too, had chosen to stand with her mother and siblings, quietly signaling discontent, or, at the very least, distance from her father. Entertainment analysts remarked that the omission of Brad's surname in her artistic debut was a quote-quote, a devastating blow to him, as it underscored how profoundly his children's trust in him had been damaged. Amid this backdrop of siblings, one by one, turning their backs on Brad Pitt, Knox alone has yet to display a clear stance. To this day, he continues to keep the full name Jolie-Pitt and has never spoken publicly about his parents. At 16 to 17, Knox is likely mature enough to grasp the turmoil surrounding him, yet still a minor, perhaps unwilling or discouraged from taking sides in an adult conflict. He has all but rendered himself invisible in the family rift, as most media coverage centers on Angelina, Brad, and the older siblings. His silence may stem from an inherently quiet, reserved nature, or it could serve as a protective shield against emotional wounds. Whatever the reason, his refusal to publicly align with either side leaves Knox an enigma in this fractured family narrative. Consequently, the relationship between Knox and his father has become difficult to discern, vague, even cold. At times, headlines have sensationally claimed that, quote, Knox has cut off all contact with his father. Indeed, the last time photographers captured Brad with his youngest son was a full decade ago, at the MotoGP race in England in August 2015, when Knox was just 7 years old. Since then, there have been no public images of father and son together. Sources close to the family have revealed that Knox wants nothing to do with Hollywood and has little to no contact with his father. Some tabloid reports have gone so far as to claim Knox avoids mentioning Brad at all, partly out of resentment and partly from exhaustion with the endless scandals surrounding him. Yet other accounts have painted a more moderate picture. Knox and Vivienne are said to occasionally see their father during court-arranged visits, though such meetings are infrequent. Brad's demanding work schedule is also cited as an obstacle to building bonds with his younger children. Throughout 2022-2023, Brad was busy filming and spent extended periods away from Los Angeles, further reducing opportunities to connect with Knox and Vivienne. As People magazine once reported, Brad has little to no contact with his older children, and even with the younger ones, it has recently become harder for him to see them due to his filming commitments. The painful reality remains that, regardless of what emotions linger in their hearts, Knox has endured most of his adolescence without his father present for life's every day. It was not until the end of 2024 that the protracted legal battle between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt finally came to a close. Yet in reality, the noisy divorce did not completely sever all ties between them. Beyond the matter of their children, Brad and Angelina remained entangled in another lawsuit involving shared assets, most notably the dispute over ownership of the Chateau Miraval estate and winery in France. This commercial battle demonstrated that the echoes of their conflict still lingered in the financial arena. In December 2024, after numerous tense court sessions, the two sides reached a divorce settlement. According to the final ruling, Knox and Vivienne, then the only two minors, were placed under their mother's direct custody. Brad Pitt was granted visitation rights, but did not share primary custody. This meant Angelina continued to be the main caregiver and decision-maker in Knox's life, while Brad could only see his children on certain occasions as stipulated. The outcome did not surprise the public, as throughout the proceedings, the advantage always seemed to lie with Angelina, widely regarded as the parent who sacrificed her career to devote herself to raising the children. By contrast, Brad's turbulent past and image as a hot-tempered father put him at a disadvantage in court. Following the divorce ruling, Angelina confided to friends that she chose to put an end to all animosity in order to seek peace and focus on healing the children. Indeed, from early 2025, the public increasingly saw the 50-year-old actress spending more time with her family. She was often spotted shopping, dining, or attending cultural events together with her children. For Angelina, the conclusion of the divorce was not a defeat but an opportunity for her children to turn to a calmer new chapter. As for Knox, now nearing 17, with only a few years left before adulthood, the settlement may have lifted part of the heavy burden of anxiety he had carried throughout his childhood. The court's decision that he would remain with his mother essentially changed little from the reality of the past 8 years, but at least he was no longer a subject of dispute pulled back and forth between his parents. A degree of stability, though belated, was still a positive development for the teenager's well-being. However, the emotional scars of the family could not be healed by a single settlement document. Although the, quote, historic divorce had ended legally, its aftershocks continued to smolder in the hearts of each family member. Brad Pitt, having lost custody, reportedly fell into a long period of silence. The 61-year-old actor rarely spoke publicly about family matters, perhaps out of respect for his children's privacy, as well as to avoid worsening the situation. Yet those close to him have said the pain of losing connection with his children weighs heavily on him. He has admitted to friends that he made many mistakes and always hopes for reconciliation one day. With the twins Knox and Vivienne turning 17 in July 2025, Brad is said to be increasingly anxious for a chance to reconnect. Hollywood media reported that Brad was praying for a reunion with his children, desperate to mend ties before they fully enter adulthood. One source revealed that Brad had made repeated attempts to reach out, inviting the twins to meet, but his efforts went unanswered. After many failed attempts, the Fight Club star painfully realized that, now, he must wait for a signal from the children themselves. Once praised as the epitome of a family man, he now stands helplessly on the sidelines, watching his children drift away. For the children, after everything, Angelina Jolie remains the strongest anchor. Knox and Vivienne continue living with their mother in Los Angeles, closely bonded with their maternal relatives. Older siblings such as Maddox and Pax occasionally return home to visit their mother and younger siblings. Angelina recently revealed that one of her sons had moved out to New York to pursue a career, widely speculated to be Maddox, who is experimenting as a film assistant director. This signals the coming of an empty nest stage for Angelina as, one by one, her children leave her side. Yet the actress accepts this as the natural passage of time. She has said she is proud to see her children grow into adulthood, even if her heart cannot escape a sense of emptiness. For Knox, the youngest son, the years left at his mother's side may not be many. In just a few years, he will leave for college or embark on an independent life like his siblings. That future raises a larger question. Will Knox one day take the initiative to reconnect with his father, or will he follow the path of his older siblings in turning away from him?